All right, guys, let's get through this together. It is the wrap-up show. The season is unbelievably over for the Padres, losing 3 consecutive games in Philadelphia. The second guessing will go on throughout the course of the offseason, which is now here. And the 2022 season that had its ups and its downs and includes a series win over the Dodgers in the National League Divisional Series ends against Philadelphia in improbable fashion, honestly, to lose this thing in 5 games, to lose a lead in the 8th inning today against the Phillies. All the second guessing in games 4 and 5. We'll get into it. We do appreciate you hanging out with us. We know this is a very difficult night. Obviously, for Padres fans, you never want the season to end. It does end like this for 29 out of the 30 teams, obviously. And the Padres season ends in the National League Championship Series. John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show. We have year-round Padres content for you, by the way, folks. This channel does not end because the season has ended. So please subscribe. If you've been with us since day one, if you're first time here, please subscribe. Live or on replay. Subscribe, smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. You can join by clicking the join button down below. You get emojis and badges, and we appreciate all the supers. I know one super already rolled in from Cam, another from Jared, and I don't have Jared's in front of me because StreamYard won't show it to me. Maybe it shows it to Jim at the beginning of the chat, but we'll get to the supers. Jared, Cam, thank you guys. Jared, if you just want to comment below, we'll get your comment. But as heartbreaking as it gets, honestly, I mean, we can second guess for the next 5 months, and I think we will here tonight. Obviously, there's a lot of good in this season, but perspective takes time, and I don't think it's really time for perspective when it's as raw as losing the way you lost here today. And it's just troubling what happened over the last couple of days. Obviously, everyone's going to circle Hader, Harper. Hader never gets into a game, Jim, in Philadelphia, and the Padres lose this series 4-1.
Yeah, we'll definitely reflect on this season later. But like you said, it's hard to reflect on a season when it just ended and how it ended, with the opportunity that was in front of you and how the opportunity kind of felt like it was, you just fumbled over it. I'm not saying that the Phillies didn't deserve to win because, dude, look, what Bryce Harper did today, tip your fucking
it's hard
cap.
to do. Yeah.
That is a legendary moment for not only his career, but the Phillies franchise. That what he did today and what he's really done all postseason, he's arguably the best player in the game right now. And he's the reigning MVP, and he showed it in this series. He came up in the biggest moments. Padres could not get him out, and you lost to the best player. With that all being said, you didn't have your best player facing their best player in the biggest moment of your season. I'm not discrediting Robert Suarez at all. I'm not blaming him at all for giving up that home run. He competed, he battled. Without Robert Suarez, they don't even make the NLCS. What he did in the Dodgers series in game 2 and game 4 was fucking brilliant. And what he did earlier in today's game was amazing as well, getting out of another jam that, we'll talk about it, kind of saving Bob Melvin again. So I am not blaming Robert Suarez at all for that home run. He competed. He lost to the best. End of story. But I will say is the managing of the last 2 games, I'm not saying it cost the Padres, because I don't think it cost the Padres this series, but it didn't give the Padres the best chance at winning the series. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I see this, Jared. I see he commented with his super, so I'm going to start with that. I'd go, it's hard. I mean, I think it's fair to say Bob Melvin was thoroughly outmanaged in the series by Rob Thompson.
Oh, for sure.
Now,
No
again, is it
that.
the difference between winning and losing the series? I mean, I kind of agree with what they had said, John Smoltz on FS1 and some of even the TV crew. Like, I thought this was a very closely played series.
Yep.
And yes, there's no question the Phillies had some big moments in this series. But I go back to yesterday with the 6-4 lead, and I'll never understand what they elected to do with Sean Manaea. And today, like you said, Robert Suarez has been unbelievable. Bryce Harper's red hot. He might take Hader deep. I have no clue. But to have Hader, I mean, you traded for Hader for this moment.
Yeah.
We've said this 100 times this year. Sometimes the save comes in the 8th inning, not the 9th inning. Now, you would have been potentially in a spot where you need to cover some outs in the ninth inning. If Hader couldn't get you 6 outs, I get it. He's not a 6-out guy. He just isn't. It's been years since he's had to do that. But like, you've got Josh Hader, who Bob Melvin says postgame wasn't ready, and that's on you. I mean, that's on no one else. It's not on Josh Hader. It's not on Robert Suarez. I mean, it's just flat out on you. And it's just really flat out disappointing to be in the biggest moment your franchise has had in 25 years, and you were caught flat-footed. And Rob Topps was asked about a postgame. He said he's not going to second guess, nor should he. I mean, he said the right things, but he said, we were surprised they didn't go to Hader. You know that was a lift for Harper getting into the batter's box, knowing he didn't have the lefty and Hader coming in there. You just know it. And it's just something they're going to have to live with for a long, long time. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, if you heard Manny Machado postgame and he said they asked him, hey, are you going to get back to baseball activities right away? He's like, no, I'm not. I need time. And anyone that played on this team, I mean, it's hard enough being a fan. Imagine being in these games and having them decided, on a moment where the manager didn't make the right decision late. And again, is it the difference between winning and losing the series? We'll never know. We will never, ever, ever know. But man, there's a lot to be desired based on the way this series was managed by Bob Melvin. That's all I'll say.
Look, the Phillies flat out won this series. They were the better team. They were the hotter team at the right moment. Take nothing away from them. I mean, they're literally unbeatable. It feels like right now at home. Like, it just feels that way. They outpitched the Padres. They came up in more clutch moments than the Padres. Their star came up in the biggest moments when they needed him the most. And it is what it is there. But like, I 100% agree with you. We'll never know how this series could have played out if Bob Melvin had urgency with the series like you should have in the postseason. I'm sorry. There were too many times this postseason, John, where we text each other and we talked about the fact that Bob Melvin leaves his guys in because just because he trusts them or like, no, I'm sorry. You should not be in the business of leaving guys in because you are like a player's manager. You fucking got to make the right moves regardless of feelings. And to leave, we'll go back to Darvish. Leaving Darvish in the 7th inning when he did, I know you're facing the bottom of the order. I don't give a shit. You have a rested bullpen. You know Darvish has not looked great all day. He battled through 6 great innings, gave up 2 runs. John Smoltz was talking about it the entire broadcast. Darvish did not have any feel on his fastball all day long, and you keep him in there. That's
that's 7 consecutive breaking pitches to Bryson Stein. He kept saying, like, you got to throw this guy a fastball. Like, he struggles with fastballs.
Right, and you keep Darvish in there for 1 batter too long. Suarez saved his ass in the 7th. You're in the 8th inning. Okay, you walk Schwarber. You should have had Hader up ready to go. It wasn't a walk to Schwarber. It was a 0-2 single the other way by Real Muto. You're right. You're right. You're right. Which is just as costly, by the way, in the grand scheme as the home run, because you could live with the home run if it was a solo home run. And the fact that you didn't even have Hader ready to go for 4, 5, 6 of the Phillies lineup and ready for Harper, it's fucking mind-boggling to me that you're that late on shit all the time. And Bob Melvin, he's a really good manager. He did a fantastic job this year in the regular season when he told off the team in Arizona to wake them up. That was a wake-up call for this team that they needed. But look, no one's above reproach here as far as being criticized. Just because you had a good season and just because you got your team to the NLCS, the fact that you still made and didn't make decisions in the NLCS that may have ultimately cost you a chance at a World Series, we're going to talk about it. And Bob Melvin in the series, he fucked up. It's not the reason why they lost the series. Well, but it's not the full reason why they lost. I kind of hate that, to be honest with you. I mean, well, it's not the full reason why they lost, but it's a big part of it. It's a part of it. I mean, I thought it was a very evenly played series. Game 1, the way that Rob home runs, they had the winning run at the plate in Game 1, the 9th inning they lost. They won Game 2. Game 3, they had Joe Musgrove on the mound.
and they just didn't come through in any real
They
moment
were 0 for
offensively.
7
They
with
had
Ernest Harper
chances.
just that night. Yeah.
Game 4, they've got a 6-4 lead in the 5th inning. They don't go to their bullpen for whatever reason. They turn to Sean Manaea, and it costs them, not surprisingly. And then Game 5, they've got a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Bryce Harper due up. You have your closer ready and available. He's pitched 1 inning in the series. You literally traded for him for this moment, and he never appears in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
That's a really tough way to go into an offseason. And I think as good as the Phillies were in moments in this series, as bad as the Padres were in reacting to the moments where they needed to be better. This is chess. Baseball is chess.
Yep.
It's what it is, okay?
Yep.
You can out-chess your way to wins in baseball. That's why you have these pieces available to you. And for whatever reason, they just didn't use them. I mean, they didn't use Robert Suarez yesterday. Okay, use them today. And then they didn't use Josh Hader yesterday. Okay, use him today, and they didn't.
No, it was it was a extremely poor job by Bob Melvin in this series. Did not put his players and the right players in positions that needed to be put in. If you pitch Josh, like the whole notion that Josh Hader, they're saving him for a 4-out save, bro. You didn't even make it to the bottom of the 9th inning. What the fuck are you saving him for?
Well, what is even a 4-out? I mean, what does that even mean? You know what I mean?
No, it's so stupid. It's
right.
The dumbest
it
shit
doesn't
ever.
mean anything.
Because
look,
look,
like you said, you're facing 4, 5, and 6. I mean, wouldn't you be more primed to use them in that spot than 7, 8, 9?
And guess what? You still have Luis Garcia ready to go. You've done pretty well this season. You have Tim Hill, who has been really good in the postseason as well.
You have Pierce Johnson.
Like, you can get 3 outs in the 9th with 7, 8, 9 there. But the fact that you did not put in your closer, who has had an amazing postseason and really has been unhittable for you, okay, in the biggest moment of the game in the 8th inning with a 1-run lead, yeah, that's on Bob Melvin. That's 100% on Bob Melvin.
I mean, I will say this too. Listen, I love Suarez. I think he had an amazing year. I would have obviously gone to Hader in that spot because I'm trying to eliminate the second guessing. He didn't allow a home run to a left-handed batter until that moment. I mean, that's how good he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think he threw. I didn't think that the sequence was bad. I mean, you think about the changeup he threw that Harper laid off. The pitch that Harper hit the other way was 99 miles per hour, hit the other way out of the ballpark. There's very few hitters in baseball that are capable of doing that, but Bryce Harper's one of them. And that's why that's why Hader's got to be in that spot because you need your absolute best. You need the platoon advantage. You need the left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
And you take your chances.
Yeah. I just don't understand it. Even the pitch that Harper laid off, the changeup, like even Austin Nola talked about it. That's no one lays off that pitch. The second he lays off that pitch, I'm not giving him anything else to hit. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Right. It's tough because it's just, you're in such a situation that you're so damned. There's a runner on and nobody out. So obviously you're not trying to walk him in that spot. With the benefit of hindsight, you'd rather walk him than allow the home run.
Frank Thomas even said in the postgame, like everybody was saying that know more baseball than anybody else here. Okay. Why the fuck are you pitching to Bryce Harper? One. And if you're going to pitch to Bryce Harper, listen. Just listen to me.
No.
Listen.
I disagree with him.
One.
Yeah,
I'm not finished yet, dude.
I heard it. He's wrong.
Why are you pitching to Bryce Harper? But if you're going to pitch to Bryce Harper, why not have Josh Hader?
What do you mean, why are you pitching to Bryce Harper? There's no other option than to pitch to Bryce Harper. I heard Frank Thomas say that. That's utter stupidity. The reason you're pitching to him is
if you're going to pitch to Bryce Harper, that needs to be Josh Hader.
Yeah, that's fair, but Frank Thomas doesn't know more about this than we do. Okay, we've watched this a lot more than he has play out, and you have to pitch to Bryce Harper in that spot. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Suarez, but you have to pitch to Bryce Harper in that spot.
Fucking Hader. I don't understand that. Bob Melvin fucked up. He fucked up last night playing for game 6 and 7 instead of them in the moment. Rob Thompson thoroughly outmanaged him this series. Wasn't the reason why they lost, but it was a big part of it because in game 3, Rob Thompson managed that game like it was a game 7 and pitched his fucking guys no matter what.
It actually may have been the reason why they actually lost this series. Jared, thank you. He says Bob Melvin got us to the postseason, and we can't forget that, but we also can't let it slide that he cost us the season when it mattered. Trying to steal runs, not pinch hitting Alfaro. It was costly. I mean, I'm sorry. And the goal wasn't to get to the NLCS.
No,
the goal was to win a World Series. So once you're in the NLCS, it's not just like, hey, what an amazing year. And it is. No. You'll look back on it in days and weeks and months and say it was a very good year in the absence of Fernando Tatis Jr. But you're taking on an 87-win team with home field advantage, and you just squander advantages and opportunities, and you just mismanage away a couple of games, and then you wonder why you're going home. Well, that's a big reason why.
It definitely is a big reason why. Like, I just will never, it's a situation where these moments and opportunities like don't come around every single year. Like, you go into next season, you can't tell me like this team is guaranteed to make the NLCS, because they're not.
Of course
Like, this
not.
team didn't make it took 24 years for this team to make the NLCS again after
Right.
1998. So when you're in these moments, you have to treat these moments that they're like the biggest fucking moment on the planet. Not that, oh, we're just hoping to steal outs here. Like, I hate that term. That we're trying to steal outs in the postseason. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right. You
That's the
should be
dumbest
trying
shit
to
ever.
pitch your best relievers in those
Trying to
spots. You
steal
should be
outs
trying to
here,
use
like
your high leverage guys.
Like
I mean,
stealing
you
outs in the
threw
postseason in the NLCS in game 4 and 5 is fucking lunacy.
you threw your high leverage relievers a combined like 3 innings in the series.
And you had a lead in game 4 late in the middle of the game there, and you had a lead late in game 5.
Yeah, it was never going to be easy. And again, if Hader allows a home run to Harper there, tip your cap. If Suarez does as well, Suarez had an amazing year, but it's like this is literally why Hader's this 7-year potential future Hall of Fame closer. Robert Suarez is a rookie in the big leagues. He had an amazing year.
Yeah, you can't do that to Robert Suarez, man. You can't do that to Robert Suarez.
You're asking a lot of him.
Yeah,
and I want to say Suarez got Harper to ground into a double play 3 days ago in San Diego. He did,
and it wasn't like an easy double play. It was like Machado had to make an amazing turn for that to be a double play.
Yeah, but he got the contact I think he wanted, right? 619 Camp says heartbroken, but what a season. Who would have thought we would make it this far with all the adversity and Nando drama? Saturday was the backbreaker in our game to win, but why Clevenger Manai? I love this team and this show. I was amazed that they got up off the mat after Saturday to be in this game. You fall behind 2-0 in Zach Wheeler, and you get back in this game. Juan Soto, Josh Bell, the wild pitches from whatever the hell his name is, Sir Anthony Dominguez. You take a 3-2 lead. You were on the mat. To get back up and then take a lead is really incredible. And then to blow it in that manner just makes it even worse.
Yeah, and look, if you, like we said, like if you blow it with Hader on the mound, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say? That sucks. Got beat.
And Suarez did a great job to get it to where it was, because
He did.
Melvin left Darvish in for another batter too late. Suarez came in, got out of the jam, preserved the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Suarez's job is done as soon as he, the next inning goes. I'm having Hader up and ready, because Harper's up the next inning no matter what. And the fact that Hader was not up and ready to go for Harper, that to me is the more like egregious part, is that you didn't even have your guy ready to go. Like,
you should get Real Muto. You could get Real Muto there, but if he reaches, like, that's
you're done.
And now, if you get Real Muto, you could make the argument, okay, Harper's the tying run. Although I think at that point, well, you have a 5-out save, and you've already asked Hader to do a 4-out save this postseason. He's well rested. That's probably when you turn to him.
Guess what? You get through the 8th inning, you get through the heart of their lineup, and you get to the 9th, the bottom of the 9th, with a 1-run lead. And even if Hader maxed out in the 8th to get 3 outs, but you still preserve a lead in the 8th, you're still facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters of the Phillies.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't make sense to me that Bob Melvin doesn't understand the simple fact that the save always doesn't come in the fucking 9th inning.
Yeah, I will say, you'd be facing 7, 8, 9, but of course, if one man reached, then Schwarber would be up, and you'd have your non-high leverage guy in that circumstance, and the odds of 1 of 3 reaching in an inning are, somewhat decent.
Cool.
In that spot.
Like, I understand that, but just the sheer fact that you let Harper beat you versus
without your
best. That's the part that you're like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the part that you're crazy. Just like, you can't stop thinking about, and it's unforgivable that happened, And
I agree.
Look, Saturday night, you needed 15 outs. Okay,
that's a lot.
That's a lot, but in that moment, like, it's still 15 outs. It's a lot, but okay. This moment, you need 6, and Harper's up and Josh Hader has pitched 1 inning in the series and you don't use him for that moment, man, that's on you, bro. That's a bad fucking manager's job right there.
Yeah, and that's why I say that it's like, that's why I will say forever that the Padres could have very well been in this series or won this series if it was properly managed. We'll never know. We'll have no idea. We'll never, ever, ever know if the Padres could have won this series, if they went to Hader in the 8th inning, if they went to higher leverage relievers yesterday in the 5th inning. We'll never know. Gus, thank you. He says, said when they hired him, Bomel equals Marty Schottenheimer. Gus is saying he said that when they hired him.
Okay.
I mean, listen, his strengths obviously are as a player's manager. He avoided a collapse of this team like they had a year ago. Right. What happened in Arizona and the way they finished the regular season and got into the postseason should not be ignored. That has value. There's no question about it. But there were a lot of mistakes in there over the course of the regular season. Every manager is going to make mistakes, and there were a lot of mistakes in the postseason as well. He got away with them against the Dodgers. He got away with sticking with Yu Darvish too long in the Dodgers series. But Robert Suarez saved him in that moment. There were a number of moments against the Mets and the Dodgers and in this series. Just a number of them.
Yeah, like it
sucks because, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it just sucks.
It sucks because, like, you like Bob Melvin a lot as a manager, and he's a great manager for navigating you through a regular season and getting you to a postseason. But man, this postseason was extremely alarming for the shit that you saw.
Yeah.
And how
it really was.
He was not one step ahead. He was always one step behind. And that is a problem. Okay. The fact that you aren't reacting at least one step ahead, that you're trying to you're trying to steal outs, and you're trying to get through another inning, and you're trying to get through the order one more time. Like, no, I don't want to hear that shit. Okay. In the postseason, you treat every game in like it's this one little entity. All right. And you have to do everything you possibly can to win that game. If you start thinking about games XYZ, you've already lost, because then you're not treating the game that you're already in like it means everything. And that's what Bob Melvin did this postseason. And that bit him in the ass. He treated game 4 like he was saving that he needed his relievers for games 6 and 7, instead of treating it like, fuck, we got a 6-4 lead in the 5th inning. We have Suarez, Hader, Garcia all ready to go. Tim Hill. That's the matchups. Boom. Let's go. You know what? Instead, we need to get another inning or two out of Sean Manaea so we can save these guys for the game 6 and 7. No. And then game 5. Well, Josh Hader, I'm only giving him 4 outs. We have to wait till at least he gets 2 outs in the 8th inning before we deploy him. Like, no. The save's in the 8th inning versus Harper, not the fucking 9th inning versus 7, 8, 9. That's your problem. And that you're right, John. And the more I talk about it, the shit that happened there, like, say what you want, but fuck, man, if you're telling me if you're giving me reasons why they lost this series, and you're telling me that they had leads in the fucking 4th game and they had leads in game 5 in the 8th inning with Hader and Suarez and Garcia ready to go, and they didn't use any of them, well, they used only Suarez, then I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's why I hate the well, the Phillies are the better team, but the Padres also made managerial, mismanaged these games. I mean, well, yeah, the mismanagement is a big reason why the Phillies won the series 4 games to 1. I mean, the two, like, you can't say one without the other. Spencer, thank you. Says, really fun season. Thank you for covering it all season long. Was my most fun season ever. Also, that felt like a destiny AB for Bryce, promised since 2016. Listen, it was a fun year, and we'll discuss all the highs and the lows. And I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, there was so much that went into this season, obviously, from day one where Robert Suarez allows a home run that cost you a game in Arizona, to the final day when Robert Suarez allows that home run to Bryce Harper. In between, Robert Suarez was like the most effective reliever in baseball. The Bryce Harper thing it was his moment. It was his time. You kind of hope it was Manny Machado's moment and time. That was not meant to be. You hoped it was Bob Melvin's moment and time. That was not meant to be. We'll see what happens. I mean, the Phillies feel a little bit like a team of destiny. I wouldn't count them out against Houston. I'm sure they'll be an underdog, but shit. I mean, Philadelphia's playing good baseball, and that Harper moment was ridiculous. And his moment, by the way, the night before, when he said, "This is my effing house," and he had that double that gave the Phillies a lead whenever it was 7-6 against Manaea. I mean, he had some huge moments in this series, a lot of them.
Yeah, he did. It's It sucks when the team loses, right? But it's even worse when the team loses and there's like a bunch of what ifs attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the Padres lost today 7-1 and they lost Saturday like 8-2,
it just sucks. You just
that
got outplayed.
sucks. You got beat.
Yep.
But when you have these things happen to you and you have a lead in game number 4 in the 5th inning, and then your choice is to keep Sean Manaea out there, and then you have a lead in the 8th inning of game 5, and your choice is to not use the guy you traded for against their MVP. Like that's the shit that hurt. That's the stuff that makes you the most frustrated. Not that I mean, obviously you're frustrated they lost.
Sure. I agree with you.
But when you go into it, when you come out of a series with just more what ifs than anything, that's when you really, as a fan, are like, are you kidding me right now?
I remember we said yesterday, I mean, I wasn't kidding when I said it, because I thought getting off the mat from where they were would be almost impossible. I thought that some of the decision-making in game 4 would haunt the franchise. And if I knew what would happen in game 5, and it would be even more egregious than game 4, some would say. I mean, it's not me and Jim saying this. I mean, we said it in the moment, but look around the internet. I mean, every national publication in the country is writing about the Padres,
Dennis Lynn, AJ Cassavell. You think they cover this team every day, like us? You don't you look at their timeline. Everybody's questioning this. Like now, they don't give out like straight opinions. They just give out like stories. At the same time, everybody was questioning what the fuck is Bob Melvin doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I thought game 4 would haunt the Padres. I think game 5 will as well. And to pretend like it's not a factor heading into 2023, I don't think is accurate, by the way. I actually do think it's a factor. Now there's going to be a lot of changes. You'll have Fernando Tatis Jr. 20 games into the year or something like that. But I mean, this is something that you got to get over. If you're Manny Machado heading into your 5th year with the Padres, this is as good of a chance as you've had to win a World Series in a long time since you were traded to the Dodgers, and this is how it ends. That's tough. That is really tough to stomach. Carlos, thank you for your viewership and for your super. Thank you guys for the supers. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We know it's a tough night, obviously, for Padres fans. Carlos says, I can live with the fact that we lost to the Phillies if we had our best versus their best. If we lost with a Harper versus Hader, so be it. Sometimes you lose, but this loss leaves us with a lot of what ifs. Exactly what I said the second the game ended. What if offseason? We'll never know. If they would have pulled the strings that people had asked them to pull, we'll never know. If they would have won game 4 or game 5, we'll never know what it would have been like going back to San Diego up 3-2 or down 3-2. 3-2. Never, ever, ever. Snell into his offseason. Musgrove into his offseason. Never got a chance to pitch in game 6 and 7.
Yeah, and never got to come home putting pressure on the Phillies in game 6 and 7.
That's right.
And yeah, man, the more you talk about it, the more you're just thinking to yourself, why the fuck was Sean Manaea in there on Saturday night? And why in God's name did you not bring in Hader to face Harper?
I mean,
this is both of those games, man, and you fucked it up.
Like, this will, in Philadelphia, like you said, this is forever iconic and famous in Philadelphia forever. This is an infamous game in San Diego baseball history. You can't take back-to-back losses in the postseason worse than the losses you just took. Padres postseason history is what? 35 games, 45 games, whatever it is, right? It's not a lot of games. To put together those games in succession with so much on the line, the only way to make it worse is if this is the World Series, obviously. It's not. It's the National League Championship Series. But, this will be talked about for a long, long time. I mean, Padres fans, Phillies fans, baseball fans, if the Yankees lost a game like this today and the day before, if the Red Sox lost a game like this today and the day before, the Dodgers, I mean, you'd be talking about this for forever.
And here's the problem, John, is like people, I feel like in this town, don't understand what criticism is for what happens in the moment, right? If what happens in the moment is
a little bit of a blanket statement, but maybe some.
I'll say some. I won't say everybody
Yeah.
in this town. You're right. Some, right? And a lot of fans too. I say a lot of fans as well.
Mhm.
Don't understand when things happen in the moment. It's okay to discuss it, one, and to criticize it, two. Does that
Of
mean
course. It's our
that we're
job.
saying that Bob Melvin's a shitty manager, or Bob Melvin sucks and should be fired,
No,
or Manny
no,
Machado
no,
sucks, or this guy
no.
sucks, or this guy? No.
Nobody's
Okay.
calling for I'm not calling for Bob Melvin's
No.
head. I just think it was poorly
But if
managed
you don't,
series.
in this moment, for any one of these players and any one of these coaches, especially Bob Melvin, right? Well, mostly just Bob Melvin, right? If you're not questioning the moves or the lack of production or whatever the case may be, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, we're here to tell you Bob Melvin
Mhm.
fucked up. All right. We're here to tell you Manny
Exactly.
Machado didn't come through in a whatever moment. We're here to
He had a
tell
big
you.
moment. He had a huge moment today, first and second one out,
Yep.
right after taking the 3-2 lead.
Yep. Popped up.
And he had a nice postseason. He did. He had a nice postseason.
Very nice
Was there
postseason.
opportunities to do more? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it a Bryce Harper postseason? Unfortunately, it wasn't.
No. Like, we're here to tell you that. Does this mean that oh, you guys have no credibility? Like, fuck you. You don't know. You, like, shut up.
I
Okay.
think we have more credibility than most that aren't willing to say it. I mean, that's the difference
Right.
of being truthful and being, having to appease. Like
I
we
saw a
have no one to
lot of
appease.
people. Like, you know, you have to remember Bob Melvin got this team here. Yeah, he did. That's great. But just because that happened and he led the team to the NLCS doesn't mean
So
that
he
we can
can't be
criticize him
criticized.
for not making the moves he did in the postseason. It's a joke.
Here's the thing: we're not idiot. Nobody here. I'm not saying. Of
Yeah,
course,
don't
they're not
talk.
going to change their manager. Bob Melvin
No.
will be the manager in 2023, and I'm not
Yes.
arguing that he shouldn't be. What I would argue is this: that he's got to be better in crucial moments. Because if you fast forward now 2023, and let's say you are in, and let's say you have a great year, nobody wants to be in this exact same spot again, where your manager is putting you behind the eight ball. Your manager should be putting you in a position where you have a best chance to win. And it doesn't feel like that happened over the course of these 11 or 12 games in the playoffs. And I think we both feel that way. Vector, thank you. He
100%.
says, dislike talk of at least we got here.
Yeah.
No World Series berth is guaranteed next year. This series was a summary of our season, poor offense, and Bomel having no aggression to step on the Phillies next. It did feel like that. It felt like they were playing, a Wednesday game in June or a Tuesday night in May, and it was just like a part of the season, not the most important part of the season. I'll give Rob Thompson credit for two things he did. He went for it in, was it game 3? When he went for the 3-out save, essentially with two relievers, Alvarado and Dominguez. He did the same thing today. By the way, it didn't work, and he still won the game.
Yep.
He only got an inning out of Dominguez and Alvarado, and he went to Robertson, who wasn't good. Then he went to his starter because he said, seize the moment. Why are you playing for a 7-game series when you can win it in 5? And that's what the Phillies just did.
Yeah. Like, it is concerning that a rookie manager essentially ran laps around Bob Melvin in this series. Like, that's not something that gives me, that's
Well, it's
not
concerning
good.
come next October.
That's very concerning next October.
And
Is
I
the
think they'll
fact
be
that
in.
I do too, with the expanded postseason.
Yeah.
Is the fact that your urgency as a manager was not there in the last 2 games, especially. Well, and really at times in the postseason, like, you got saved by Suarez in game 2 versus the Dodgers, and Suarez saved you for a moment in game 5 today. But but like, I just keep saying, you knew Bryce Harper was coming up in the 8th inning, and you don't have Josh Hader ready to go. Say that out loud. You did not have Josh Hader ready to go for Bryce Harper.
He was like he wasn't even throwing on the mound. He was like long tossing for the first batter. So he wasn't even throwing on the mound when Real Muto was in the box.
And this is going to suck for Bob Melvin. It is, because this is going to haunt him for a long time unless he wins a World Series in the next couple seasons with the Padres. And it should. And if it doesn't, then that would concern me. If this doesn't create some type of I need to change moment from Bob Melvin. And I hope it does, because, man, these opportunities that you get, you can't let them go by without throwing your best out there and making every possible move that you can to ensure that you win that game that you are in, instead of thinking we need to try and steal some outs and we need to get length out of this guy because we have to worry about game 6 and 7. Like, that's fucking bullshit.
I agree with you.
And that's what Bob Melvin did this series, man.
Yeah, and the part that really hurts, and we'll get to all the supers, and thank you guys for hanging out. Again, we have year-round Padres content. We will talk about what they need to do in the offseason. We will talk about the winter meetings. We will talk about everything that's to come in the days and weeks ahead, I promise you. And we'll talk about the memorable moments. We'll talk about who should stay and who should go, all of it over the next 5 months. Right now, we're talking about what happened tonight and how frustrating this is. So subscribe, smash the like button. Thank you for the supers. Great way to support this channel. Some of you have been with us literally since day one. Maybe it's your first time here. Thank you for your support of this channel. The part that makes it just so unbelievable is that it's over.
Right.
It's like,
And like that.
and you're thinking, it always sucks when something is over and there's a piece of you in your head that says, I wish I would have done it a different way. Now, this is sports. This is sports. It ends for a lot of teams. Like you said, if you lose 10-1, you lose 10-1. But this is a part of sports, not
only
every
one
decision.
team wins the World Series every year.
Yeah, and you can make the right decision and lose, okay? We all know that.
Right. He could have put Josh Hader in tonight against Bryce Harper, and he still hits a two-run homer. He could have
take that 3-2 lead after trailing Zach Wheeler, who you had not scored a run against in 2 years and 27, 28 innings, and you come all the way back, and you think you're going to bring this thing back to San Diego, and you've got a 3-2 lead, and you've got your high leverage guys available, and you just don't use them as effectively as you should have, arguably, and your season ends, and that's a really bitter, sour taste that I think is going to take a long time to get over for a lot of Padres fans and for the organization and for some of these players, and hopefully they can get over it. It's a long offseason. There's time. But it just sucks. It just sucks. It sucks now, and it's going to suck in 2 weeks, and it's going to suck in 2 months, and it's going to suck when spring training starts.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about today, and I'm thinking of all the things that you could have done with, I'm trying to think how they were thinking, and even me trying to do that, it just I don't understand it. Like, you had 6 outs to go. All right. The second Suarez lets a guy on,
he's got to be gone. Though
you have to be gone.
You got to try. You got to try then to just.
And I'm not worried about the fucking 9th inning. I'm worried about what's happening in the 8th inning.
Right.
Because in the 8th inning, you could lose the game, and guess what? You lost it because you didn't have Josh Hader facing Bryce Harper. And if Bryce Harper hits a fucking bomb off of Josh Hader, then guess what? That's fine. You live with it. And I would respect Bob Melvin for going to Josh Hader there in an conventional way. Like, that's what you have to do in the postseason sometimes. It's not just always about by the book, right? It has to be about what is going to give me the best opportunity to win right now. And the best opportunity to win for the Padres today was throwing Josh Hader in the 8th inning versus Bryce Harper. That's the save, dude. And if you lose it in 9th versus 7th, 8th, 9th hitters,
right,
with Garcia on the mound or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, and why would you? I mean, okay, let's say Hader in that inning, let's say he throws 24 pitches to get those 3 outs. Okay,
yeah,
it's possible.
Okay. That's
a good amount of pitches. I mean, I still think he's starting the 9th at 24 pitches. Now, if that number goes from 24 to 48, I get it. I mean, if it goes from 24 to 40, okay, you'll have someone up.
What if he cruises too? Like, you have to think about.
That's the thing. We don't know. He could have thrown 6 pitches. You're right.
You have to think about all the scenarios, and it just seemed like in these last 2 games, those things were not thought about. And look, there's other reasons why.
There are.
The offense,
you're right.
Scoring position. Reason. Like, you have multiple reasons. Like, the bottom of the order was fucking atrocious in this series. They had 1 hit combined. 1 hit, and that was the hit and run in game number 2 by Austin Nola. All right, Trent Grisham.
We'll get into that too. Grisham. We'll get into
that. Will Myers went completely MIA in the postseason. He had no impact whatsoever. Josh Bell had a really good series, actually, by the way.
He did.
Manny was really good in the postseason, but in big time moments, he didn't get there. It was a lot of he didn't deliver in like a 2-on, 1-out in the 7th inning. He had a good postseason, no doubt about it. But again, you saw what happened with Bryce Harper, and if
Machado would have had that moment, and was it the Yeah, in that 7th inning. I mean, if he hits a 3-run home run, you go up to 6-2.
Or it's a 2-run double or a
Yeah, I mean,
single, even to go
everything's different.
even to go 4-2, just a single to go
Yeah.
4-2. It's different. So, we talk about it a lot. The others help you win a championship, but the stars are the ones that are going to be in the big
Yeah.
moments. And Bryce Harper was that moment for the Phillies tonight, and you didn't see that from the Padres.
What I also hate, and we need to get to Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor, and we're going to get to all the supers. What I also hate is like Soto was heating up, okay?
Yeah.
And he doesn't get another game and a game after that. Like Soto was in a position where he was kind of quasi maybe going to carry you, right? I mean, he hit some long homers the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And, he hit a 440-foot home run today. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was beginning to get locked in, and his season, like everyone for the Padres right now, is over. All right. We're going to get back to the supers in a moment. I do want to get to Trent Grisham's decision to bunt, by the way, with 1 out in the 9th inning.
God, I
by a
almost forgot
run.
about
What the hell
that
was
one.
that? And that was, by the way, came from the bench. I believe that came from the bench.
Yep.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for your support of this channel. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He's the title sponsor of the wrap-up show. We've been talking all season long, all day long as well. He is a great Padres fan. He's a great insurance agent as well. He's disappointed like we all are in the way the season ended here today. If you want to save $750 on your insurance, please get in contact with Mark Nimitz, whether it's auto, home, renter's life, or earthquake insurance. Mark is here for you. He is a San Diegan. He supports this channel. If you want to support a local business, please support Mark. I've got my homeowners and my earthquake insurance through Mark. He has saved us literally thousands of dollars because we had a claim in here. His website is available at the link down below. You can get the quotes online. You can find out everything that he offers as well. Mark Nimitz is a great insurance agent. He's a huge Padres fan. Anytime you have an insurance need, the next time you have a renewal come through, please, before you renew, get in contact with Mark Nimitz, auto, home, renter's life, earthquake insurance. He can save you $750 or more. And thank you, Mark, so much for your support all season long.
Yeah, all his information's above my head, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
All right, if you're here, please subscribe, smash the like button, follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD, and thank you for the supers. Just click the $sign in the chat box like Stiven did. It's a great way to support this channel. Padres season is over. They lose in Philadelphia in 3 consecutive games, something that we said was basically not happening.
I'm shocked, honestly.
Playoffs, man. You just never know.
I know.
You just never know.
Yep.
Stiven says, honestly, I'm a bit sad that we lost, but I'm also proud that the Padres did an amazing season. We have to focus on the new season about 5 months from now. Hashtag Padres, hashtag let's go. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I do get it. I mean, if you're a lifelong Padres fan, there haven't been a lot of years like this. So it's like a glass half full way to look at it is they've only been in the NLCS 3 times. Glass half empty way to look at it is, well, you only get these opportunities so often. You need to take advantage of them, and they didn't.
I'm with you. I'm not the type of person that like, oh, they made the NLCS. That's great. Like, no, you made the NLCS. There were some really bad decisions in the NLCS. You're leaving that series with more what ifs than not. And you had a golden opportunity to win your first world championship in franchise history, and it didn't happen. Like the bar now, I said on Twitter, the bar is now set. Like this franchise's bar for the next couple of years is World Series. I mean, we've seen it, right? Like that needs to be the bar that they get to. It can't be just, oh, we made the postseason. Like, oh, it's great. Everybody's great. Like, no. Now, the goal next 2 years, and I know that was the goal this year, but you have the taste of it. So going into the next 2 seasons, if this team doesn't get to a World Series, and if they don't win one, that's disappointing as hell. That's just what it is. You've created these expectations for yourselves now, and you have to now get to those expectations.
I agree with you. I mean, I think from the very interesting storyline of Fernando Tatis Jr. is that you can kind of fast forward in your mind what you want to see happen, which is Tatis goes from GOAT to hero, completely redeems himself, picks the city up, and can be a difference maker like a Bryce Harper or a Manny Machado or some of these stars that carry teams in postseasons. We'll never know what Tatis would have meant for the team in the postseason. We don't know if he's a difference maker or not this year. But like the stage is set for Fernando Tatis Jr., but he's coming off 3 surgeries.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So to be fair, we need to be careful with what we're asking of him beginning like April 20th or whenever he's available next year. And how realistic is it that he's going to carry you immediately? The other thing is with Juan Soto, obviously we know he's going to be here in 2023 and 2024.
He's got to be better.
And I think he will. I think the offseason is going to help and the acclimation to the organization. But I'm also thinking to myself, like what you just said, yeah, you got 2 years where you need to win it all. And I'm like, you know what? I want more than that. I know Tatis is here long term. You hope Machado's here long term. I'd love for Soto to be here long term. I mean, easy for me to say. But, I mean, if you really want to have, like, look at Harper. I mean, this is his 4th year with the Phillies, and they're kind of putting it together right now. I just want more bites at the apple with these stars, and we'll see if we get them or not. Pseudonym, thank you. He says, did the organization at least buy themselves some credibility with this run, with free agents, with Tatis? They're not losers anymore. Yeah, I think they have credibility. I mean, they're spending on like most teams in baseball. Yeah, I think they absolutely have credibility.
Like this was, the vision all along is to make the postseason and make deep runs into the postseason. Like that's the vision, Is it incredibly disappointing that they did not win a World Series? Absolutely. Yeah. If they lost to the Mets in the first round, you'd say the same thing. It's incredibly disappointing. Do you give them credit for making the NLCS, beating an 101 win Mets team and the best Dodger team in franchise history? Yeah, absolutely. But should you be satisfied? No, not at all. Like that's not the goal. The goal is not to make the NLCS. The goal is to win a World Series, and you didn't get your goal this year.
Yeah.
So I get some fans are like, well, it's fine. Like, okay, that's not me though. I'm not like that. And you can be like that. It's fine. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but at the same time, I expect more.
Yeah. I mean, it's a successful year. I mean, by most accounts, it's a successful year. Does that mean that they couldn't have accomplished more? They still could have accomplished more. Is it a bitter ending? Yeah, it is. At the end of the day, 3 months from now, will we say likely on YouTube and on radio that they had success in 2022? Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
This series win against the Mets was impressive. The series win against the Dodgers was very impressive.
Yep.
And they put themselves in a position to get here, and they just didn't capitalize when they did get to this stage. I do like this point from Carlos. Thank you again, Carlos. He says teams are not guaranteed in NLCS. However, these moments forge teams. We got a taste of what winning is like, and this will be a building block for years to come, like the Braves before they won, right? Braves lost a 3-1 series lead to the Dodgers in 2020. Braves the next year won a World Series. Doesn't always work like that, as we know. But it's fair to say that sometimes it does work like that. You lose late and then end up winning and taking advantage of the opportunity the next time you have it. It's possible.
Look, like there's going to be a shit ton of changes with this team next year.
Of course there will be.
You need so much more pitching. Okay.
Yeah.
You need you need a first baseman. You need to talk about your center field spot. You need to talk about your catcher spot. You need to talk about your left field spot, even though it's probably going to be Tatis. You got to talk about your bench. You got to talk about your relief. Like there is so much shit that they have to do. And that's why in this moment, you're like, man, you had Darvish, Musgrove, and Snell to an extent fully healthy in the NLCS. And you didn't win.
Yeah, and you lined it up,
And it's lined up.
Darvish in game 1.
And you lost. Musgrove game 3, you lost.
How do you lose with Musgrove and Darvish? You lose 3 straight games in Philly. You had Musgrove and Darvish. I mean.
Dude, Darvish in the series did he pitch 13 innings, gave up 4 runs total?
He was good.
And they were all off just homers? Like,
dude, he gives up a lot of home runs, okay?
He's 10 straight.
But he's also very good.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. I mean, he just gives up home runs. I mean, whatever. It is what it is, right?
Also, Darvish isn't getting younger,
No, he's not. But he's like the absolute mainstay, like such a huge part of your 2023, like Joe Musgrove.
Who knows if Nick Martinez is going to be back next year? Who knows about Robert Suarez? I mean, Robert Suarez is going to get a shit ton of money.
Well, he's a free agent, right?
Yeah, he's going to get a shit ton of money.
He should get like what's a fair deal for Robert Suarez off this year? Seriously. I mean, is this crazy to say? What was the Pomerantz deal? That awful deal. He should get that.
3 for 36.
I was going to say he should get like 3 for 30.
Yeah, they'll probably get there on 3 for 30.
3 for 27, 2 for 20.
Yeah.
22. The guy had an amazing year. He really did. He had an amazing year, you know.
And I do not fault Robert Suarez for
No.
giving up
Neither
that
do I.
home run to Bryce Harper one
I,
bit.
I
I'll question
fault
the
them
pitch
asking him to
selection.
do that.
I'll question the pitch selection on that, like going away on fastballs, because Bryce Harper is so fucking locked in. You don't think he's going to shoot it the other way?
I don't know though, but it wasn't away. The pitch before was that changeup, wasn't it?
No, it was changeup away and then fastball 99 away, and he popped it to left field. Like
I know.
Like in that situation,
He
you got
covers
to
so
go
much
up.
plate.
Like I'm throwing fastballs up in the zone.
Yep.
I mean, what
It's
the fuck
also
do I know?
raining. You know what I mean? It's
know.
like, are you hitting your spot perfectly? You know?
Yeah, like I'm not giving Bryce a fastball away. He's
I
just
don't know
too
what to throw.
good.
I just don't know what to throw him. I mean, he's just so locked in. He can pull a ball. He can go the other way.
I try to after that changeup, I'm throwing a belt high. I'm throwing a up in the zone, out of the strike zone fastball to see if he chases.
Right. Like I said earlier, and people are like, well, why don't you just walk him? Why don't you just walk him? Here, I'm okay with you challenging him. And if it doesn't work out, he ends up drawing a walk because you do everything in your power to get him out. But you have to remember, again, we have the benefit of hindsight. He homers, they win the game. Right. Without that benefit, if they walk him in that spot, it's first and second, nobody out for still the heart of their lineup. Who's due up next? Castellanos?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're just all of a sudden facing the pitcher.
Yeah, you're not facing. Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Stott or Bohm. And by the way, some of these guys have had nice postseasons too. I mean, their lineup is legitimate, and I get it. You don't want to get beat by Harper. I completely get it. But Real Muto had singled to lead off the inning, so it puts you in a tough spot against Harper. Is that all it is, by the way? So let's see what we have coming up. We got winter meetings in a month in San Diego. We'll have Hot Stove when free agency begins. We'll have the WBC, and we'll have pitchers and catchers reporting. I mean, it won't be that long. It feels like forever.
It's 3 months.
Yeah, it's 3 months. I mean, it's a lot longer in some sports, like football, college basketball.
Man, it's just like you're so close to getting to a World Series. And who knows? They might have got their ass kicked by the Astros. The Astros are fucking insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you ended your season, like you said, John, on just a bunch of what ifs, those are the worst losses.
It just makes it hurt. And honestly, it's like it should hurt. Like, how much do we invest in this? Everyone here.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a 17-week sport. This isn't college football.
We're ready to be. I was ready to be downtown tomorrow. Like, let's go. Game 6.
75 and sunny.
You know, that crowd was going to be fucking nuts. Are you kidding me? Snow on the mound.
We got that one night. Game 2. Downtown.
Fun night.
But it's like, remember what we said when we were on the air? Friday, our last show Friday. That was 3 days ago. Everything will change by the time we're on the air next. How? We just don't know. Padres win the series in 5. Phillies win it in 5. 3-2 someone. And man, did it change.
Yeah, and it wasn't an ass kicking. It was very close. And
that's the thing. It just wasn't. It really was not. And you said, well, it was 10-6 the other night. They led 6-4 in the 5th inning and had Sean Manaea on the mound, treating it like it was April 9th.
Yeah, that was horrific. That was really bad.
It really was.
And you might still lose that game 7-6.
You could. And that's fine. And we can. Now, like a lot of times, if you've been watching this channel for the last year, or listening to us on the radio for the last 3-4 seasons, then we'll talk baseball. If you lose, you lose. If you want to talk about, hey, Grisham's got to come through there, he's, you know what I mean. Like, okay, if you lose, you lose. But this feels like more than just losing. It's like you kind of played a role in your own loss based on the decisions you made.
Yeah, you cut your own wrist. I mean, you just chopped your own
Yeah.
You were a reason why you lost. You could
talk about Grisham. Let's run through that real quick. So it's first and second on walk with 1 out. They go to Ranger Suarez. Okay. So Grisham stays in the game to hit for himself. You had a couple of righty bench options. They're not good. Alfaro and Campusano, they haven't played since I was in college. It's been weeks since they've appeared.
Yeah.
So Grisham bats for himself. It appears as if the plan is this. Bunt for a hit if you can. If not, move the runners into scoring position. 2, where a base hit from Nola, who again had a nice postseason, but Austin Nola, you're playing for a 2-out base hit from Austin Nola with your season on the line. That's a head scratcher for me, is it not?
Well, the fact that you didn't even see how Robert Suarez's command was going to be, and you just said, "Here's an out." Like, what the fuck? You're not even giving yourself a chance there. Now, like, to bunt in a regular situation for a hit is tough already.
It's
But to
hard.
bunt in the rain, knowing that that ball is going to immediately die, like you're going up the first base line, it wasn't even close to a hit. And like, first pitch. So you don't even see if Robert Suarez has any command when he pitched on Friday. And,
Right.
and like
You're saying Ranger Suarez. You're calling
Ranger
him
Suarez,
Robert.
sorry,
Yeah.
Robert Suarez. I meant Ranger. Sorry, Ranger Suarez. But yes, Grisham has had no, he not has had, but he had a horrific NLCS
Series, yeah, terrible.
A horrific
What was
series.
0 for 20 or 0 for 19? It was awful.
He was 0 for in the series. Him and Nola went one for whatever.
Yeah, so why are you bunting for a guy that had one hit?
Like I'd rather have him just swing away. Like honestly,
Because what's going to happen? He runs well. He's not going to grind into a double play. I mean, he absolutely could, and he might strike out looking. I mean, we have no clue what happens. What if he runs into a ball? It did happen 20 times. 20. 17 in the regular season, 3 in the postseason. 20 in how many plate appearances? 500?
You just gave an out. And then you had it's actually kind of weird, like symmetry. Like your season started with Austin Nola hitting, leading off for you, and your season ended with Austin Nola.
And also the Robert Suarez thing. Home run in Arizona, home run today. And in between, he was unbelievable.
Yeah. But like the bunt call there, and that was a decision made by
it was, right?
Melvin. It was a decision made by
I saw the postgame.
I think it was brought to Melvin by Grisham, and Melvin gave him the okay.
Again, it looks amazing if you can somehow bunt for a base hit. Didn't happen. That's hard.
That's very hard. And it has to be a really good fucking bunt. And by the way, you're facing a lefty, so he's coming off the mound towards the fucking first base side.
Great point.
And you really bunted up the first base side.
Well, he bunted off the home plate, like right back to the mound.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a good bunt. It was a good bunt if you're like literally no outs and runners at first and second.
So I think, did he say that they were trying to drag it because the first baseman was back? But you know how perfect you have to be to get it by the mound, staying close to the chalk. I mean, that's a 1 in a 50 bunt, right? I mean, that's hard.
Yeah, it was just another wasted decision that was made that was just like, I mean, yes, obviously hindsight, we're in the hindsight realm here. And it could, in the moment, everyone's like, "Wait, what?" But in the moment, you're like, "A bunt?"
And then Nola, and then Nola first pitch swinging. Again, you're a base hit away from a lead, second and third.
He threw 2 pitches, John.
Swinging. Yeah, he pops out to right.
Suarez threw 2 pitches.
Again, if you're bunting to set up Soto and Machado, and there's a base open, but they could put Soto on. But like, okay, but you weren't doing that. You just weren't doing that.
Yeah. Look,
Pedro,
can I just say this one more thing? Because it's driving me nuts. All right.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I see this in the chat. I'm sorry, Brett. I'm calling you out, bro. He's like, but Grisham got us there. Grisham was great in the postseason. He got us there. I'm not fucking talking about the whole postseason. I'm talking about the fucking 9th inning today when he tried to bunt for a hit. That was a stupid decision. He went 0 for the entire NLCS. Can you not get that through your fucking brain?
But subscribe, Brett. We love you. This is just
like and subscribe.
This is just us as sports fans. It's not personal. You know that. We listen, it's hard. Again, we have hindsight. We know how the game ends. They lose 4-3. The bunt doesn't work. Nola doesn't come through. Sure, there's an alternate universe where Grisham's bunt is so perfect that they load the bases there. Then again, Nola flies out to shallow right. Who knows if he even score, right? Pedro says, I just wanted to say, appreciate you guys' hard work. Hardest working duo on radio. We appreciate you saying that.
I love you, Brett.
What's that? He says, I love you, Brett.
I don't know why he's frustrated.
Jim does this. He'll like rip into people that like listen and watch us, but he doesn't really mean it. It's like it's an interesting relationship.
I'm just frustrated.
Who do you guys think will be the scapegoat and get fired? And I figured out that the analytics laptop broke in game 4. First of all, Pedro, thank you so much. Everyone that's been here all season long, thank you guys. We know you are dedicated to the Padres. We know some of you have spent literally thousands of hours watching the Padres, and then you take even more time for us, which is just unbelievable, which makes it hurt even more because, our livelihoods depend on this team, and we're all baseball fans and Padres fans, and we enjoy doing this. So thank you for supporting us throughout the course of the season. And in regards to scapegoat, who knows? Could there be a change in the coaching staff? Of course there could be. Could you have a change at hitting coach? I guess you could. I have no idea. What you want to have back is obviously Ruben Niebla, and he will be. Bob Melvin's going to be back in 2023. Like Jim said earlier, of course, there'll be a number of changes when it comes to the 26-man roster. Maybe they'll have some changes in the front office as it relates to analytics. I'm sure Bob Melvin and AJ Preller will have a lengthy conversation about the way the postseason played out. Maybe it'll be different next time, but it's hard to say that right now. What's going to be different next time?
Yeah, I mean, what is going to be different next time? Is Bob Melvin going to? I mean, and look, and here's the thing: if next postseason, Bob Melvin takes out guys, like Dave Roberts did, and then they still lose. It's like, well, fuck. All right, should have gone with his way instead.
Yeah,
that could happen, absolutely. But I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that type of egregious stuff in the postseason in these last couple games, like Dave Roberts has done in the postseason.
I do.
No, well, what I meant is like Dave Roberts takes out his guys.
Oh, you're saying too early?
Way too early.
Sure. And you're saying Melvin's never going to overreact that much that he's going to be that guy?
Right. Like, I don't think Melvin would ever do that. So I don't think it's as egregious as what Dave Roberts does. But I do think, Bob Melvin needs to learn when to take guys out and not try to quote unquote steal outs. Like that was the biggest problem this postseason is he was just trying to steal outs with guys. Like, what are you trying to steal?
Don't steal, No, put your best foot forward. That's the way to get through a game.
Right.
Gus, thank you. He says, okay, so 2023. Tatis short, I don't see it. Kim second, Cronenworth first, Drury DH, Martinez number 4 starter.
Well, here's the thing. One, Martinez would have to opt back in, and I don't think he's opting in. I think he's trying to get some more money. If he does, that's great. You take that absolutely, and yes, you'll make him his 4 starter. Tatis is not going to be your shortstop next year. Kim's going to be your shortstop. Tatis, if anything, is moving to the outfield. Yeah, he's going to be your left fielder. One, they'd have to try to re-sign Drury. Don't know if that's going to happen because of his year. Don't think they're going to move Cronenworth to first base. So yeah, like I said, there's going to be a lot of changes on this team next season.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do with Grisham. I have no idea. I mean, could Tatis be in center as opposed to left? Could he be in right and move Soto to left? Because Soto's a massive defensive liability, and typically right fielders are better than left fielders defensively. I don't know. The Soto thing, man, every time a ball's hit his way, I'm like praying. Even today, I'm like, oh my God, it's hit to him.
Like, I'm gonna laugh my ass off when he wins Gold Glove.
He's not going to, dude. I'm sorry. That would be just too ridiculous.
Man.
By the way, Brett, Jim
I'm
retracts
sorry.
everything he said.
I'm an idiot.
Jim's an idiot. Thank you, Brett, for your support. Okay. None of this is good. We're just like frustrated.
I'm just upset.
We're frustrated.
I'm upset
so
because
raw.
these moves, because it's like, I'm not upset. I'm more upset that the moves that were made, like if you lose, you lose. Okay. But the fact that you didn't put in Josh Hader to face fucking Bryce Harper in the 8th inning, and you kept Sean Manaea out there in the fucking.
You wanted to get through the whole lineup one time with Manaea. Why?
Why are you doing that?
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, that is what I am so frustrated at, is the fact that these moves that were made were so predictable in how they were going to fail. Like, it was so predictable these moves are going to fail miserably.
Yeah, I mean, the Suarez thing with Harper isn't predictable. I mean, of course you're worried. It's Bryce Harper, but you're also, you also have Robert Suarez in the mound. I didn't know in the moment Bryce Harper was going to homer. Nobody did. Everyone's fearful of it. I would have been fearful of it with Hader as well. It's just like, you have Josh Hader, okay? You acquired him at the trade deadline for this moment, and you didn't use him. That's curious. Thank you. What do you got?
I was going to say, hold on 1 second. So I sent this text at, what was it? 244 today. Bryce Harper hit the home run at like 246 or 247.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I said.
I can't see it, but
It says
let me pull this down.
Harper go ahead homer inevitable, right? That was at 2:44 p.m. 2:47 he hit the home run. Yup.
Who'd you send that to?
I sent that to Darren.
I knew you were. I was going to text Darren. I'm like, how annoying is Jim during these games? Jim's texting me the whole game. Like, this game's over.
It felt so inevitable, dude. It's like what could go wrong will go wrong because the moves that are not being made are like so easy right in front of you.
Yeah, no, right in front of that. Yeah. The Harper thing will be second guessed for forever.
Yeah, that's bad. And the Sean Manaea thing will be second guessed a lot too, and maybe even Clevenger too.
Well, I think the Manaea thing is more locally second guessed. The thing with Harper will be second guessed because of what happened, like on both sides. Like in Philadelphia, it's a huge moment. In San Diego, it's infamous. If you're a baseball fan, World Series is on the line. It's just a huge moment. Bryce Harper's involved, not Sean Manaea. All right. Thank you, Will at Aura. Thank you, Will at Aura, for your support of this channel. We've been talking to Will all day. Will's disappointed. Mark Nimitz is disappointed. Tens of thousands of Padres fans are disappointed. The city of San Diego is upset. We all should be. But we do thank Will for his support of this channel and Aura. Make sure to check him out, ora.organic. If you're looking for plant-based nutritional products, Aura is for you. You can get 30% off your first order just by clicking the Build Your Routine button that is highlighted right now in green. 30% off. I'm talking about probiotics. I take one every single day for digestion, heart health, which I need right now, mental clarity, which we also need right now, proteins for after workouts, pre-workout supplements, omega-3 oils, sleep pills, immunity pills, literally something for everyone. ORA.organic, plant-based nutrition for yourself, your spouse, your loved ones, your friends. Great company. Based in San Diego. They've got offices in Liberty Station. Will, their co-founder, lifelong Padres fan, native San Diegan, just a terrific guy, an amazing company. Browse their website, ora.organic. Click the link down below. Get 30% off your first order. Please support local businesses that do business with the Wrap-Up Show, including Aura at ora.organic.
Yeah, go there right now. Build your routine. Get 30% off your first order. Make sure you check out their website, www.aura.organic. And trust me, you'll thank us later if you want to live a healthy lifestyle. Go there right now.
I'm just briefly seeing some things in the chat, and I can only imagine what the night has been like in the chat. Again, we're here for coping and venting. Armando, thank you. He says, talking about what ifs, what about the umpire's poor calls against the Padres in critical game-changing potential situations? And not only in this game. I do think it's fair, Armando. I think the umpiring was bad.
Very bad.
It is a part of the sport. I thought it was very bad today. I thought it was very one-sided.
Yep.
And that will happen, as we know. That's going to happen. You have to overcome something like that. Was it the worst I've ever seen? It was not. Was it bad? Yes. And yeah, it did feel like the 3 games in Philadelphia absolutely favored the Phillies. I agree.
Yep. Just really bad calls. I don't think that was the reason why they lost this game. But man, there were some fucking horrible calls made today for sure.
There were. Yeah, there were. I just lost my spot here.
Some of these comments are pretty funny.
Are they?
Yeah.
I do like this from Tom. Thank you, Tom, for the super. Thank you guys for the supers. If you're here, great way to support this channel. Click the $sign in the chat box down below. When's the free agency preview? It's coming. Okay. We promise. Okay. You can't do year-round Padres content without covering. What did we cover last year? Everything. Relievers, lefty relievers, righty relievers.
Here's the problem with last year is we covered nothing because they had no fucking offseason because they had a lockout. At least this year we'll have the winter meetings in San Diego. We'll have free agency. We'll have trades.
Yep.
And it's going to go by faster because the entire month of October was playoff baseball.
Good point. You're right. It won't be too long, but it's going to feel like a long time. It's like if you have kids, the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah,
same feeling when you lose.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of fans are probably like, I don't even want to think about Padres baseball for a couple weeks. Which I don't blame. Well, I said fans, John, not us.
No, I think fans do though. It's like you know what I mean. It's like a train wreck or a car crash. You can't look away. Right.
Right.
It's like,
no, yeah, I
human instinct is if you're a fan, like you can't get away from it, you know?
No, I understand that. I
But
just
it's
think
true.
that,
I see your
like,
point.
if it were me, like, I wouldn't, like, obviously it's my job and our job to talk
Yeah.
about it every day. But man, when my team loses, like,
Yeah, it sucks. You want to get away from it.
I don't want to watch any Sports Center. I don't want to watch any highlights.
I
I don't
know.
want to watch the World Series. I don't want to watch the fucking Super Bowl. Well, I whatever. I don't want to watch the NBA
Yeah.
final. Like, I don't want to watch any of that shit because of how close you were and how heartbreaking it was, and in the manner that you lost those games, right? Like, I mean, look back to Marlon McCree. I mean, fucker dropped the interception by Tom Brady.
Right.
Like that, now you're going into Bob Melvin, not putting Josh Hader versus Bryce Harper, leaving Shamanai out there. Like, it's just, that's what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
You know,
Antonio, thank you for your support of this channel. Don't see a
Katie
comment, but
missing field
thank you.
goals. Like, it's just, there's a lot of shit in this town that by just saying one word or one phrase, and you immediately immediately go back to that moment, right?
Yeah, I hope that's not what it is with Bob Melvin. Like, I
You hope
hope
not,
5
but
years
right
from
now
now
that's
we
what it
say the name
is.
Bob Melvin. It's about poor decision making, sticking with guys too long, and trusting his gut over what he should be doing. I mean, it's an
But
analytical game.
here's the thing. I like trusting your gut. I don't think this was a trusting your gut thing. More or less, it was like a I don't like he didn't. It felt like he didn't want to push guys. Like a gut move would be, I'm going to Josh Hader versus Bryce Harper in the 8th inning. That's a gut move, and he didn't
Is
make
it?
that gut move. I think it is. I think
That's a gut move.
I
Going to
think
your
that
ace against their ace and saying, beat my best.
I mean, kind of, yeah, but also too, like, he did not go with that. He went with the, I need to try and steal outs here to get to this point. He thought a lot about like what could happen in games instead of dealing with in the moment, and then also being for potentially the other moments in the game. Like, it wasn't
Mhm.
like all right, well, fuck, okay, Darvish is here. This, that, like, okay, he's been pitching this way. I'm gonna go Suarez in here this inning, and then if Harper gets up in the 8th inning with a runner on, I'm going to Hader. I don't give a shit about the 9th yet. I need to get out of that inning, and then in the 7th, and then we'll see how Josh Hader does. But I'm gonna have this guy ready. I'm gonna have this guy ready. Like, none of that felt like was happening.
I mean, it's still surreal. I mean, you laugh because if you weren't, you'd be crying. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, of course, a game like this is going to hurt. If Hader allows it, Suarez allows it. I mean, this is how you head into the offseason off that game, off these last 2 days. Those are your final 2 games of the year.
And if
I mean,
anybody
this should
tomorrow,
hurt. This hurts.
look, if anybody tomorrow tells you that Bob Melvin doesn't deserve any blame for this series loss, is the pom poms ready, man.
No, and I'm also with you. It's not the sole reason, but it is a what if. We will never know what happens if you get this thing back to San Diego, up 3-2 or down 3-2. We'll just never know. We don't know if Hader would have allowed a 500-foot home run to Bryce Harper there. No
Yeah,
idea.
it's just like there's a lot of reasons why the bottom of the order 7, 8, 9 was fucking horrific. Your starting pitching
Yep.
wasn't as good as it was versus the Dodgers and the Mets.
Right.
Their starting pitching was better. Now, it's predominantly 2 guys that were better, Ranger Suarez and Zach Wheeler. That was it. And their bullpen was better. Their late inning guys were better than your late inning guys, except you never really got to see your late inning guys with a lead.
That's a good point. They used them like one
And
time.
the Philly stars were better than the Padres stars.
Yeah, they were.
That's
Yep.
if you want to boil it
Schwarber
down,
had big moments. Harper had big moments, and the Padres didn't have as many big moments. There's no question about it.
if you want to boil it, like, if you just want to like look on the field and not talk about decisions, okay, fine, whatever. Well, guess what? On the field, their stars were better than your stars.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a little bit of breaking news here.
Oh,
Could you play this game under protest now? This could have been like a Musgrove situation at City Field. They should have checked him. Maybe he had the steroids like on him.
Oh no! Should
right
we
before that plate appearance.
call Major League Baseball?
I think you almost have to take those 2 runs off the board. All of a sudden, it's a different series.
Hold on. Let me text Rob Manfred right now.
Yeah, do you have his
No.
number?
Oh, can we also talk about real quick?
Yeah.
Just
Thank you for the super HBVVBRBFBBFBN though.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
We're on 100. We're at an hour 15 right now.
Yeah.
I just have to say once again, Dodger fans are the dumbest fan base. Not every Dodger fan. There's a lot of good Dodger fans out there. I'll admit that. But a majority of Dodger fans are fucking idiots, man.
Man, you've had some people go after you, haven't you?
It's so funny that after the Padres lost, I got flooded with Dodger comments. And a lot of them were like this one is this one's hilarious. A Dodger fan was trying to troll and say Padres players are now joining the Dodgers players in Cancun or the Bahamas because they're not hanging shit this year. Like, bro, you realize what you just said?
You remember having last week?
You remember what just happened? You literally just are making fun of yourself for losing in the postseason. You dumb idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You know how fandom is.
This is another one. This is pretty funny. Okay. Padres would be the first weak ass team to beat the Dodgers and not win a World Series. LOL. Do you what? You just called yourself out for your team losing to the Padres. You dumb idiot.
You know what will be hard for me to watch again is this home run. And you can't really escape it on social media or if you're, whatever.
I've muted all.
And you're gonna see it for a long time because it's this massive moment.
I've muted all Harper mentions in my timeline for the time being.
Man, it's just
there's the thing, like
tough.
Like it's really hard for me to hate Bryce Harper because he's fucking incredible, right? It's hard for me to hate him, but man, dude, it sucked.
He really hasn't been that guy. If you think about it, up until this postseason, he hasn't been like Mr. October. He's put it all together. These 3 series,
incredible. He was. If I were to look at the Phillies lineup, obviously Schwarber was the most dangerous person in that lineup, but Harper, you just couldn't get out. Like he was, and then Rhys Hoskins all of a sudden out of nowhere started to hit home run after home run after home run. You're like, what the
lineup
fuck?
Is unbelievable.
They're 1 through like Schwarber, 5. Hoskins, and Harper. I know Real Muto's hit third.
Castellanos. I mean, these are like legitimate. Like all of them could be like cleanup hitters in the big leagues.
Incredible.
And the Padres did okay by and large. I mean, today you allow 4 runs. Game 1, you allow 2 runs. Game 3, you're in it. Yesterday, 10 runs, but Sean Manaea and Mike Clevenger are pitching.
And then you look at this, and you look at the beginning of the year when they signed Castellanos and Schwarber, and you're like, their defense is going to suck. Yeah, their defense sucked. But guess what? They're now in a World Series.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's right.
That's the game of
built
baseball.
For the playoffs. Just go out, slug people, and figure it out with your bullpen. They had 2 guys that they caught lightning in a bottle with in their bullpen. It worked.
Yeah.
And another reason why to use your bullets when you have them, like they went to Sir Anthony Dominguez and Alvarado, and it wasn't perfect today, and they still won. Why not go down using those guys?
The only time you didn't see them in this, and only time you didn't see Alvarado and Dominguez in this series was when they pulled away in game 4.
That was it.
And then obviously tonight you saw them, but
game 2 after you scored all those runs and took a lead.
Yeah. But yeah, you're not seeing. You saw them,
but they used them 3 times, and the Padres used Hader 1 time.
Anytime the Phillies had a lead, it didn't matter when the moment of the game was. They're using those guys for multiple innings.
They're like first inning, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Well, they do. Game 3 is the perfect example of. It's like what Rob Thompson did was the complete opposite of what Bob Melvin did. Just go to game 3. You have a 2-run lead in the 6th inning, and
7,
you go.
I think.
Well, no, it's that he pitched. What did he go for?
Suarez for 5, somewhere, and then Dominguez maybe or Alvarado.
I think they might have gone. Let me double check because I know they used Dominguez and Alvarado for like 3 innings.
3 combined innings. 3 combined innings.
3 combined. Okay, so they used Eflin in the 6th. and then they used Alvarado and Dominguez for 3.
Yeah, that's
Padres
how you should play it.
Had no walks that game. Exactly. Like, come on, man. You can't. If Jesus Christ, 5 innings, John, 5 innings, and they went to their top 3 guys for the final 4. And you in game number 4 in the 5th inning stick with Shamania.
I mean, it is almost like,
I don't know if I fucking punch myself.
It's almost like laughable.
It really is.
I get it. Like 5th inning isn't like it's hard. I mean, that's a lot of outs. It's a lot of innings, but not anything but Shamania. Tim Hill. Give me an inning at Tim Hill.
And he's been good in the postseason.
I know he has. You can't barrel Tim Hill for whatever reason. So it's just perplexing. I mean, it just is perplexing. Antonio, thank you so much. He says, are you bringing back Will? What are the terms? You say no, move on. It's time. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's
You're
over.
prepared with him hitting 9 home runs against the Padres next year for Colorado or San Francisco?
Look, you bring him back for a 1-year, $8 million deal. Sure. Anything more than that, like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like we kept
hoping and praying for big moments, right? I mean,
John, he had 2 hits. Like he had like 3 hits in the postseason.
Were any important?
He had a home run in Game 1 versus the Dodgers when they were down 5-0.
Oh, that's right, solo home run. That wasn't overly important.
He didn't do anything else in that series. He didn't do anything in New York. He didn't do anything in this series. Like, I mean, he had a really bad regular season. He was injured. I don't know where you would play him.
That's it. I was about to say, where do you play him? And this whole Soto DH thing, it's not happening.
No,
it's not happening. He's their right fielder or left fielder or something fielder.
He's a Gold Glove finalist.
He's playing the outfield. Stupid, but guys, he's going to play. He's going to make $21.5 million next year as an arbitration player. He's going to play. And he'll be. And by the way, you'll give up a couple of runs defensively, and he'll make up for them offensively. Look at the Phillies, like you just talked about. Defense isn't great.
And
they outscore people.
And you hope that next year with Tatis, Soto, and Manny, that.
Dude, there are going to be some nights. Just envision those nights. I can't do it now because we're in the doldrums and the depths of despair. But there are going to be some nights where Manny and Tatis and Soto all have good games, and it's going to be stupid, and it's going to be incredible, and it's going to be fun. And I can't wait for those nights.
And look, I know you might see some people, and I haven't really seen any people on social media, but you might later on, and they might blame Tatis for this. Like, what if we had Tatis? Whatever. That's fine. It's fine. You can do that. Yep. Like, yeah, if you had Tatis in there instead of Ha-Seong Kim offensively, like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But also you were so close still even without him, and you had leads in Game 4 and Game 5.
It's almost like you didn't even have to have him.
Yeah, it's not. Is that why you lost? Because Tatis wasn't there? Like, no.
No, we're not screaming like if they had Tatis today, Suarez would have been better.
Yeah, they got to an NLCS without Tatis. Like, think about that.
Right. Moise says, thank you, man, for this very generous super and for your longtime support of this channel as well. We truly appreciate it. He says the moment was obviously too big for Melvin. He choked during the 2 biggest games in his career as a manager. Even his explanations were head scratchers. Hater wasn't ready.
Yeah.
WTF, bad. You guys killed it, unlike Melvin. We appreciate you saying that. The whole he wasn't ready thing doesn't add up. I mean, it's true. He wasn't ready, but why?
Because Bob Melvin didn't want to put him in the game unless there was 2 outs, John.
Well, that's the problem is there were never going to be 2 outs because Harper was the second batter in the inning.
Yeah, I know. It made no fucking sense. It made no sense whatsoever how you treated that 8th inning. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Like, I'm never going to blame Robert Suarez for giving up that home run to Harper. I will never, ever, ever, ever blame him for that home run.
I agree with
He was amazing this year, and what he did in the postseason for this team was fucking great. And to get Bob Melvin out of decisions that he made in the postseason, I can't blame him. Robert Suarez has been amazing this year, but guess what? He's not your best reliever. Josh Hader is.
Mm-hmm.
And to not throw Harper, and it's the 8th inning. It's not like the 5th.
Right. Even yesterday, he was asked about like, well, why didn't you go to Suarez like in the 5th inning yesterday? It's like, well, he hasn't really been a 5th inning guy. Well, what does that even mean? I mean,
Dude, you have to look at the
okay,
order of the lineups,
right.
right? And if in the 7th inning you have the top of the lineup coming up, that potentially is like the save inning. Okay. Same thing with the 8th inning. The 8th inning, you had the top of the lineup or like the heart of the Phillies lineup up, and you don't have your closer ready. Because guess what? I bet your fucking ass that if it were Rob Thompson,
yeah. Oh,
he'd
yeah.
put out Josh Hader. Think about
Guys,
that.
when the other manager is saying, I'm surprised that Hader doesn't come in to face Harper, then
Where did
Bryce
you read
Harper's
that?
thinking the exact same thing. You didn't see that?
No, who said that?
I saw it. I'd have to find it. Let me type in Thompson. Is it Thompson without a P, right? Thompson, Hader, Suarez, Harper. Hold on. I think it's in the UT.
Is it Thompson? No, Thompson.
Thompson without a P.
Wait, Tomson?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Oh.
Let me see if I can find it. He definitely.
Oh, it's Thompson, you idiot.
No, there's no P.
So how do you spell his last name?
Thomson. Thomson.
That's not how you spell his name.
I think it is.
It's not. It's Rob Thompson.
No, I thought it was Thompson.
No.
No, you're the idiot.
You're an idiot.
No, you're an idiot.
No, it's Rob Thompson, dude.
No, it isn't. Rob Thompson's like the lead singer of some band.
Okay. Because
Look
guess
up
what?
his
It's
freaking
TH.
name.
Oh my God. You said TOM, not T. It's THOM.
That's what I said, you moron.
TH Thompson.
Is anyone watching this? Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. It's definitely somewhere.
Hold on.
He literally, the quote was saying about, I don't second guess managers, but I was surprised.
Dude, where is it?
I don't second guess Harper, Hader. And then the headline of the UT article is Harper's dramatic homer saves Phillies manager Thompson from second guessers.
I don't know, dude. I'll find it later.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Hold on. I got one more crack at it.
Okay.
Let me just take one more look.
One more. Well, at least the Padres aren't the Yankees. That would be bad.
What, getting swept?
Yeah. And also, at least the Padres aren't the Dodgers. Those frauds. God, Dodger fans got so triggered. It's so funny. It's like you guys won 111 games in the regular season and you didn't make the NLCS. Like, stop talking. And by the way, you lost to the Padres. Like, shut the fuck up.
It's come full circle. This is how the 2022 season ends. The wrap-up show in which John and Jim call each other idiots over the spelling of the opposing team's manager's name. Padres baseball. What did we say at the beginning of the year? Like, what was the saying that I never got right? Like, they are who they are. What were we saying?
Is what it is. I don't know.
Like the offense, something about the offense. Remember, like, it is what it is, and we'll deal with it. That was like the slogan.
Jesus. Whatever, dude.
Someone find the I'll send you the quote at some point. You know me, I'm not going to make that quote up, but it was surprising when I saw it. It was like, yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah,
because everyone was surprised.
Rookie manager outmanaged you. End of the day, that's concerning. Like, that's very concerning. I feel like.
Oh, was it this, Samantha? That they are who we thought they were? I don't know if it was that or not.
I don't know.
We got what we got. It was that, right?
Yes, I think it was we got what we got.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. I think, listen, we appreciate your support of this channel, and we do this year round. All right. So this channel's not going anywhere. We'll have coverage for you this week, in fact, on the wrap-up show. It'll be different. We're not going to be doing these night shows like we typically do. We'll have some day shows. We'll have some stuff that we just post at YouTube, whether it's free agency stuff or hot stove or trades or signings or free agency. We'll have all that for you. There'll be live shows as well. I promise you that. And the excitement for 2023 is going to build up. And we appreciate you guys that have been with us literally every single day, or maybe it's your first time here. Maybe you've watched it live. Maybe you've watched on replay. Maybe you watch in San Diego. Maybe you watch in Korea. Wherever you've been, thank you guys. Sports are tough. Days like this are inevitable for all fan bases. Unfortunately, it feels like it happens in San Diego more often than other places. But this team will be back. This team will be back, and hopefully as soon as 2023.
Yeah, I mean, look, this year, I mean, you could write a book on this year. It was the craziest year ever, it felt like. I mean, from the start of play. Tatis didn't play. Hosmer got traded. Soto's a Padre. Like,
Jesus.
Like, it was insanity this year. They beat the Dodgers in the postseason. Like, it was nuts. But yeah, it was every single night. It was fun to talk.
Remember the first night? Remember the first night of the year? Like fucking Robert Suarez in the ninth inning,
dude. I want to go back and watch that game or watch that.
Watch it. God, yeah, like it was like 3-1. Darvish was unbelievable.
Yeah, and I just want to say I apologize
to ripping whoever you ripped.
I apologize for because of me, the Chargers left to LA.
Oh yeah, what did someone say yesterday? Oh yeah, because you're so annoying on social media, like they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, they're like, you're the reason the Chargers left to LA. And I was like, okay. I mean, this dude, true. Like we need to do like a best of wrap up show. Right?
That?
Like I just need to find clips of like the best of from this year.
Good luck. That'll take about 400 hours.
I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna post it.
Please.
That's gonna happen.
Okay, we had the bird. We had you drunk half the time. We had me saying Ohtani sucks. We had you saying I'd rather have the Warriors like win a title.
Bro. Come on, man.
We had a lot. We laughed.
We had that time when I shut down the chat when I went out and I was like, let's go. And then I like accidentally like turned off the chat. He like wanted to fucking idiot. Murder me.
There was a lot.
Man. The Soto trade. Relationship girl coming in the picture. Like
we had game 4 against the Dodgers.
Game 4 against the Dodgers. Game 3 versus the Mets. Like, yeah, we had a lot of shit this year. I'm gonna find it all. It's gonna take me forever, but that's now my mission.
Don't go to sleep.
I won't. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. It's gonna be all just wrap up show, best of moments.
Thank you again, random name.
Yeah, thank you.
Dodger fans are overweight in a polluted city.
Yeah.
Is this your burner, Jim?
Why would I be paying myself, John?
I have no idea. I was wondering. Esteban, you're the man, dude. Thank you. Samantha, we're not going anywhere. It's not goodbye. But thank you. We're gonna have a zillion streams. Okay, I just don't know when they'll be. There's gonna be a lot of like daytime streams. By the way, we're back tomorrow on Weight Room. Hopefully, it works on YouTube.
Look at this shit. This is the funniest. This just proves that Dodger fans are the dumbest thing. Like, so this one dude posted a meme to my story, or to my story, one of my tweets. It reads, "Say the line, Padres fans. At least we eliminated the Dodgers." And everyone's like cheering. Like, dude, you're clowning yourself. Like, do you understand what you're doing? I don't think they do.
Don't worry about them.
No, I'm not. I think it's just funny.
Weight Room tomorrow morning, by the way, Jim, 11:30.
Yes, I know.
Is it going to work on YouTube? Do we need to talk to our people? We might have to. Did we? You know what, Moises? We might have played a role in getting Soto. Did anyone talk about Soto before we did? Literally in May, we made a huge deal. Like, why are you doing this? You know this isn't possible. Why would you be saying that? He's still got 2 years in his deal. 2 months later, he's a Padre.
Everyone's like, "Why are you even talking about Juan Soto? It's never going to happen." Soto? I'm like, "Oh, okay, really?
Okay, because like that's off limits to talk about Juan Soto as a Padre." Okay, Pedro, thank you for the super. He says, where does John want Tatis? I want him at short, or I'm turning into a Dodgers fan. Jeez, Kim's a utility guy all day, every day. I mean, where do I want him is a very good question. Do I think he has value at short? I do. But I mean, you're like years removed now from him being on a field, and he's not even playing the first 20 games of 2023. So you're going to count on Hassan Kim a lot at short, even if Tatis is a shortstop.
Yeah.
I don't know where I want him. I think ultimately he's going to be in the outfield. I think we'll maybe get some time at short, but I think long term he's probably an outfielder in the big leagues based on what's transpired over the last couple of years. That's my guess.
My gut says center field. I don't know what they're going to do with Trent Grisham, but if they decide to keep Trent Grisham, then I'm putting Tatis in left.
What could Trent Grisham provide? A bounce back at a cheap number, I guess.
Who do you think? Michael's like, one of the favorite moments is me sacrificing Ben on the wrap-up show.
Wait, what happened?
I was like, I want to kill Ben.
Wait, you said that?
Remember that? I was like, I'd sacrifice like Ben Fadden.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. That was hilarious. I do remember that.
Yeah, I don't know with Trent Grisham, and we're gonna talk about it too. It's gonna be a lot, but like, is he a better defender in center field than Tatis, or is Tatis a better center fielder? That's gonna be something that they decide.
We've just scratched the surface, obviously, if Tatis is an outfielder.
Or
listen. There's a lot of plays that Tatis could have made. You know, this ball's just over Kim's head. But here's the other thing: Kim makes every other play. Kim makes every play. You know.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna move Kim off shortstop.
I don't know.
Like,
I really don't.
Kim had a good year. He had a solid year. His WAR was like almost 5. Like
5. I think it might have been over 5.
He had a good year. Now, if you have to tell me you have to pick one or the other, I'm picking Tatis every day. But
sure,
you have both, so you got to put them somewhere both in the lineup. And your best defensive shortstop is Hassan Kim.
When's the last time we had drunk Jim?
It's been a while. I had to tame it
down.
Been
a while, man.
I had to tame it down. When I was living that bachelor life, it was
yeah. You can thank or not thank relationship girl.
Yeah, it's her fault.
Thanks, man, for hanging out in Minnesota. I'm trying to get some people here because we do it for you guys. Absolutely. We're nothing if not honest. Nothing if not honest.
I'm so mad too.
Event edition of Weight. I think Weight Room actually tomorrow, because I want to do this a little bit on the show tomorrow. It's like, how will you remember 2022?
Like, what was your favorite moment of 2022?
Or like, how will you remember it? Are you going to remember it for the end? Are you going to remember it for like Machado in his year? Are you going to remember it for the Soto trade deadline? Like, what's the biggest takeaway of 2022? Tatis' suspension and health.
I think.
Like, how are we going to look at 2022? Wasted opportunity? Made the most of an opportunity?
I think as time goes on, you'll look at this season as like the first thing that'll come to your mind is you beat the Dodgers in the postseason. You ended those frauds season.
That's why I asked. Yeah,
you ended those frauds season, and that is a moment that if you're a Padres fan, you'll go to YouTube highlights and watch the 7th inning over and over and over again. But the second thing you'll think about is this series, game 4 and 5, having leads in both games, one in the 5th inning, one in the 8th inning, and Josh Hader was not used one time in those games, and Sean Manaea was used more. Sean Manaea had faced more batters and had more opportunities and got more outs in.
He got 4 outs,
3 games in Philadelphia than Josh Hader did.
No, we're in 5 games in the series.
Yeah. So yeah.
Kevin, thank you. He says, thank you for the super. Thank you guys. He says, I don't mind not putting Hader in, but I do wish we walked Harper. No one was surprised he hit a home run. Forced Castellanos to beat us. Easier pill to take.
You can't do that.
I'm listening. I understand it, Kevin. I do. And maybe first and second Castellanos hits a ground ball double play and you get out of it unscathed. But you're now putting the tying run in scoring position with nobody out for a second consecutive inning and the winning run on base. And I get it. He hits a home run. If we knew that, I would do anything. But I just think it's hard to put him on in that spot.
Yeah. And I mean, that also is like some fucking like bold forward thinking if you try and do it.
Right.
And if you do it,
it's respectable.
You respect it.
You
do.
it's interesting.
Because guess what? You just said, I'm not letting Harper beat you. If Castellanos beats you, okay. But I'm not going to let him beat you. And I would have respected that, honestly. It would have been a crazy ass move if he did it. But I would have respected the hell out of it.
Yeah, it would have been amazing. As opposed to do that, just bring in freaking Hader and take your chances.
Nah, John, you can't do that.
Too many outs. Thank you, Paradise Chevrolet Fleet and Commercial Vehicles. Appreciate that. If you want to work with us,
do you want an endorsement deal?
Can
we get an endorsement deal?
Yeah, man. I could use a fleet of Chevrolets in my place right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Antonio, thank you again. He says Tatis and right, Soto left. Your thoughts? I mean, I don't see why not. Like, if I wanted one in right and one in left, I would put Tatis in right and Soto in left. Agree?
Yeah, I would do that.
So I don't see why not. Maybe you can move those guys around a little bit.
Yeah, and you're going to put Tatis at DH sometimes. You're going to put him at. I mean, I think he's going to play some short next year. It'd be weird if he. I don't think he's not going to play any short.
Right. Definitely play short.
Yeah, you got to be versatile, and I think that this team, what Preller loves is versatility, and yeah.
Let's get back to our buddy HBVV BRB FBB FBM. Thank you. Says, do you think that the rap on Kuzi KUSI and the mural was a jinx? Do you believe in jinxes?
I do.
The Fanatic mural.
I know a little bit of the backstory there, like with these guys. So it's hard for me to like now really truly like shit on them, but come on, man. Whoever I blame the producers more
the guys, the KUSI guys, you know the backstory?
A little bit, yeah. I found out a little bit yesterday.
And
like they're like, one, people are like, these guys aren't even Padres fans. They are Padres fans. I mean, these dudes got like tattoos, and one of the fathers had some tragedy in his life with his daughter, and
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, but again, it was very cringe. It was really bad, and I blame the producers at KUSI for even getting those guys on. Like that to me is the problem here. Is like, if I'm the producer of KUSI, and if you said this is cool, let's green light this, like that's your fault. It's like the same thing with managing, right? It's like you put a guy in a situation you put him in situations to succeed instead of fail. And today, Bob Melvin didn't have his best guys in to succeed. Are you going to blame Robert Suarez for the home run? No. And that's how I feel about the KOSI thing. Is like, I blame the producer and whoever fucking decided that was a good bit to put on the air. I don't blame these guys for what they did.
I had already forgotten about the goose, by the way. It's been like an hour. I'm like, what goose?
Dude, I got a goose shirt like during the Dodgers series. It still hasn't come yet.
Right.
Like, it's so annoying,
man. Yeah, like, oh man,
we're not going to sacrifice the goose. They beat the Dodgers because the goose was the good luck thing for the Dodgers.
Yeah, you can't kill the goose.
Yeah, we don't want to kill
I do want to remind our viewers that if you ever want to just listen to the wrap-up show as opposed to watch it because you're working out or you're driving, we are the official podcast of FriersOnBase.com. We're presented by Eric Lanier at Higher Impact Financial and HigherImpactFinancial.com. Eric is a San Diegan. And if you're wondering if you're financially strong enough to leave your corporate job and start your own business, or if you're tired of being surprised by how many taxes you owe every year, you got to get in contact with Eric at Higher Impact Financial. Give him a call. Along with that, Eric can also help make sure your family is protected by helping you get a trust established. Padres fans that call to get a trust done with Eric's firm will get $200 off. The number to call, 951-383-3033, 951-383-3033 to schedule your first meeting. Advisory services are offered through WealthTech Partners, a registered investment advisor that only conducts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded from registration requirements. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Investing involves risk and possible loss of principal capital. Well, that's going to do it for 2022, guys. 2022 season. We are back tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. on Weight Room. We'll be talking about the season that was. And then, of course, join us on the radio, 3 o'clock tomorrow, full breakdown of this series, and looking ahead to the offseason. 3 hours of Padres talk on the radio tomorrow, San Diego Sports 760, as the offseason is officially here. Unfortunately, it comes too early. It just does. So much hope after Game 2, and it comes crashing to an end this weekend in Philadelphia. Sucked.
What if?
What if? Thanks, guys. Seriously, thank you. We'll be back
David.
with you this week. Much more to get into as we now turn the page on 2022, get into 2023. Join us tomorrow morning, hopefully on both YouTube and Weight Room, 11:30 a.m. Interact with us tomorrow afternoon on San Diego Sports 760 as well at 3 p.m. Padres lose to the Phillies in dramatic fashion in Game 5, 4-3. The Phillies are going to the World Series. The Padres season is over. As we record this live, by the way, the Padres will be landing in San Diego at some point in the next.
I see Rich McGuire's out there. Rich is out by
Rich.
the waiting out there. If he's watching
Rich
us
is out and about, man. What's this? Better fly Clevenger on spirits. And with that,
we are done.
Oh, man. And with that, we're done. Next game, we'll see you February 24th. We'll be there live.
No.
Peoria.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Thanks, guys. Subscribe, smash the like button, follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He can save you $750. He's been with us since day one. Please get in contact with Mark this week if you're a Padres fan. Link down below. 30% off at Aura if you're looking to get healthier, ORA.organic. Thank you, Omar Sanchez, loansbyomar.com. Thank you, Eric Lanier, if you have financial needs. Eric Lanier at Higher Impact Financial, and also higherimpactfinancial.com. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks so much.
Peace.